Tipping's gotten really out of control lately, and someone's got to do something about it because it's gone too far. Seemingly, any place with an iPad has decided they can just spin that thing around, and you'll probably give them extra money. It's just going to ask you a quick question. Is it now? All these places where you haven't normally tipped before have started asking for an extra 15 to 30%, and it's getting really difficult for me to figure out how much I can tip on my 1 a.m. Taco Bell order without my card getting declined. So if we could please stop it, that would be great. It's getting really weird and confusing for me to figure out when I'm actually supposed to be tipping. Like, am I supposed to be tipping at Subway? Mentally, I'm still grappling with why the $5 footlong all of a sudden costs $14, but now we're going to add this into the equation, and this is why I sit in my car and mobile order from outside of the restaurant. Look, fast food restaurants are not the only ones guilty of this newfound tip epidemic, but the amount of places asking for a little bit of free money is kind of absurd. And I know like a lot of European or like international viewers are probably like, isn't all tipping insane? Yeah, kind of, but that's the price of freedom, baby. But since tipping isn't really standard internationally, and a lot of the younger viewers might not know the norm, I figured I'd break down how tipping is supposed to work. In America, tipping is extremely common practice, and there's a few places where it's extremely rude to not tip. The origins of it are kind of weird and just kind of go back to slavery, because everything in America seems to go back to slavery. But at least while I've been alive, it's been intended as a way to say thanks to somebody who's doing work for you. I used to install TVs when I was in high school, and some of the old ladies would give me like $20, and that'd be sick because I was making min wage. But anyways, originally it was supposed to show thanks to whoever was doing work for you, but now it's just kind of an awkward like, am I supposed to tip here? Like, I don't want to be rude, but they kind of just did their job. But at a sit-down restaurant, you always tip about 20%. And I think that's the main place where you tip in America. You can also tip the housekeeping staff if you're staying in a hotel. The norm is like $2 to $5 per night that you stay. It depends what kind of place you're staying at. But I usually just stay at an Airbnb, so I just pay the $90 cleaning fee instead and then do the dishes before I leave. But then there's places like local cafes and ice cream stands. At those places, there was never an expectation for a tip. They'd kind of set out a tip jar, and then you'd just put like the 42 cents change that they gave you in that tip jar because you're going to lose it anyways. So and since those jobs were typically worked by high school or college kids, you knew that that little bit of money was probably going to go towards whatever Taco Bell's latest combo box was or a Natty Light 30 rack. And I think as a society, we were just all cool with that. Alright, I put my jacket on because the heat in my apartment isn't working and it's like 28 degrees today. I don't know if it's just not working or if I just don't know how to use it. Anyways, now here's the thing. Tipping hasn't always been a thing in America. It used to be like a very rude thing to do to people because they were like, I have enough money. I couldn't imagine. America as a whole was really anti-tipping for a while, and then for some reason, restaurant owners realized, hey, if I can make customers pay my wages, I have to pay less. Pretty simple concept. I don't know how they managed to pull that off. Like, that is actually stupid as fuck. But thanks to their little heist and to my ancestors being dumb as shit, I now get a fun bonus to pay when I go spend $40 at Applebee's on Long Island iced tea. So yeah, what was the cause of all this? Corporate greed. It's just kind of like everything. How comes every time there's just a fundamental flaw in society, it's because like 4 white dudes like money too much? Like, sure, I can't afford an ambulance, but at least my Depend Fresh Protection adult underwear for men arrive within 2 days. Thank you, Jeff. But like, giving a tip was supposed to feel like giving a gift, and now it just doesn't. Maybe I'd give more tips if the barista wasn't holding me at a metaphorical gunpoint. Actually, evidently I wouldn't, because I didn't in the past. But like Starbucks, you made $3 billion in 2022. Why are you asking me to tip 20% on my $7 coffee? This is kind of awkward. I was kind of under the impression that like part of that overpriced coffee was going towards the person who made it. And I thought, I don't know, maybe because it was $7, We might leave out the whole moral guilt trip part of it, maybe. Also, side note, why the fuck is it $7? I know I just ordered like Spanish for a 2-liter of some fruity concoction that has enough cane sugar to kill a small Victorian child, but like $7? You think we could dial it back a little, or are those Christmas Cup lawsuits really doing you in? Look, I know I have the option not to tip, but when the person who is supposed to get the money is watching you, it's really uncomfortable to say no. I don't really like talking to people on the phone, but now we're going to make it a face-to-face conversation to figure out which one of us makes rent this month. It's going to be you. And it's just psychologically taking advantage of people because now they have to actively make a decision to say no. And Starbucks and all these big corporations know that deep down, I'm a little bitch. I'm going to give them $1.50 and walk away. Oh, it's time for a pop quiz. All you have to do is answer would you tip in these 3 situations. Situation 1. You're driving when you stumble upon a street vendor who is selling beverages. You purchase one of said beverages and pay the street vendor $2. The quality of the drink is questionable and it seems like it's pretty much just watered down sugar. Do you tip? Well, actually, in this situation, I did tip, but it's because she was being really persistent and I didn't know what to. Situation 2. You're out for food when your waitress gets in a fight with another waitress. Up until this moment, the service has been nothing to note. Do you tip? Only if she wins.
Can I get a waffle?
And extra if she brings the waffle.
Can I please get a waffle?
Situation 3. You go on a date to a mildly nice restaurant that you really can't afford and you decide to valet your car to impress your date. The food is fine and then you come out to retrieve your keys. Do you tip? Trick question. This place doesn't have a valet. You just got your 1999 Toyota Corolla, which was practically mint even though it had nearly 300,000 miles on it, jacked. Now you gotta spend the rest of the night filing a police report and putting up missing posters. Okay, that completes the test. Results will be posted, probably never. A lot of you are probably just thinking, why don't I get over it and just hit no tip? And I can assure you, I Batista bombed that no tip button. Actually, I live in Europe, so it's not really a problem, but I kind of just get shitty service everywhere. Now, hot take here. I'm not anti-tipping. Do I wish I could pay 20% less at restaurants? Yeah, of course, but that battle was fought in like the 1930s, all right? That's water under the bridge. And I think in certain industries, like in a restaurant, it makes sense that your server has a little bit of a financial incentive to make it so you have a really nice experience. Otherwise, they just would kind of do the bare minimum. I'm looking at you, Europe, but like even that system is flawed. Because like while it's the cultural norm, nothing happens if you don't tip. Like you probably just shouldn't go back if you don't tip, and because so many places are asking for tips more and more, people are tipping less and less because they feel kind of fed up with the system. And I just think it would be kind of sick if we could maybe just like pay people fairly and then stop guilt tripping me at checkout. Please. I know I'm 24, but I still feel like a child. Please stop. It just seems like with the way things are heading, I'm going to have to start giving a tip before surgery, and holy fuck, it's already a thing. Well, I tried. If you made it this far in the video, you probably fell asleep with autoplay enabled, so shout out to the algorithm for recommending me, and I should talk a little bit quieter so I don't wake you up. I'm trying to start rolling out videos every 2 weeks in this new year, because new year, new me, and I think I uploaded like 5 videos last year ever. So that's kind of a lot, but we'll see how it works out. If you want to see those videos, do the thing. And if you want to tip me, I have a Patreon. I'm kidding. But if you know somebody who might like this video, you can share it over to them. You can subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of video. There's also some other stuff that I made in the past I'll put somewhere. Oh, why did I put it over my face? Well, in this one, I actually wore a chef's outfit, so that was kind of cool. You can also just kind of say things in the comments. I don't really get a lot of comments, so really whatever you want to say down there, just, Anyways, I know this doesn't really make sense narratively, but I figured out how the heat works, so that's cool.